G'day. Welcome back to Behind the Crime Scene. It's been almost a month since Dezi Freeman disappeared into the Victorian bush after that tragic confrontation with police. And despite what Victoria Police keep telling the public, this manhunt is failing. If you're new here, this channel investigates the cases where the official narratives just don't add up. So hit that subscribe button and ring the bell right now. But Reveal will make you question everything Victoria Police have told you about this manhunt. Let's start with what really happened on August 26th. Officers surrounded Freeman's bus to serve a warrant, but the exact nature of that warrant remains unclear. What we know is concerning. Freeman had confided in friends that the charges against him were trumped up, and that the police were using this incident to target him. But sources suggest Freeman's real concern wasn't about the charges at all. It was about the handmade shotgun hidden inside the bus. If found, he would have faced years behind bars. So was this raid really about the warrant? Or something much bigger that police suspected he was hiding? When Freeman refused to open the door, officers forced entry with a crowbar. The result? Tragedy. 2 officers were killed, and Freeman fled into the bush with stolen police weapons. But here's what bothers me. If police suspected Freeman might be armed and uncooperative, why wasn't this situation handled differently? Why force entry instead of another tactical approach? Reports reveal this manhunt has already cost millions of dollars with hundreds of personnel involved. Millions of your taxpayer dollars. But despite what Victoria Police call Australia's largest manhunt, not a single trace of him has been found. Not a single trace. This weekend, hope emerged. Police raided a property in Myrtleford. A hooded man was led away in handcuffs. The media went crazy. Social media exploded. But police later confirmed it was not Freeman. The man arrested was Stani Murovic, who goes online as 666 Lucifer and is described as a gun enthusiast. The important lest there's no online connection between Freeman and Murovic. Freeman's friends say he is a God-fearing man who would only associate with others sharing his beliefs. So why raid Murovic's property? What intelligence led them there? And why won't they tell us? This is where the problem becomes clear. Freeman is not an ordinary fugitive. He is a survival expert who reportedly left the bus with nothing but his skills. Photos show him as a bush wild man, wrangling snakes, climbing cliffs barefoot, caked in mud, living out of caves. He styled himself as a shaman-like figure on Instagram and trained in martial arts, holding a black belt in Zendoi. This isn't a desperate amateur running scared. This is someone who may have prepared for this scenario his entire life. Friends believe he may be sheltering in caves around Mount Buffalo and Mudgegonga, locations he knows intimately. Some suspect he pre-positioned stash caches to survive undetected. If Freeman has planned for this for years, how exactly do Victoria Police plan to catch him? Former Detective Luke Taylor told Daily Mail the real problem. The joint police and military hunt is hampered by officers' inexperience in the wilderness, where Freeman supposedly excels. They've rightly engaged specialist military who are trained in these environments. But are they trained in manhunting and tracking, or in reconnaissance and combat? There's a massive difference. The harsh reality? Unless even more manpower is thrown at it, Freeman could evade capture indefinitely. And that's assuming he's still in Victoria. The New South Wales border is only a day and a half's walk, something Freeman could have managed in darkness. If he reached New South Wales in the first 2 days, he could be anywhere by now. So Victoria Police keep focusing the million-dollar operation on Victorian bush. Are they getting intelligence that he's still there? Or are they hoping he hasn't crossed state lines because that would be their failure? Here's the uncomfortable truth Victoria Police don't want to admit. Despite over 1,000 tips and a $1 million reward, they're essentially playing a game of chance against someone who is prepared for this exact scenario. Expert analysis warns, this search could easily turn into a game of tag unless tactics change soon. With every day that passes, Freeman's bushcraft legend grows, and so does the pressure on Victoria Police. So, think about it. Every tracker, every officer, every helicopter in the bush has been searching tirelessly for weeks, and yet there are still no confirmed sightings. Not a footprint, not a broken branch, not a trace of smoke from a fire. How is it possible for someone to simply vanish in a landscape this monitored? Even his 15-year-old son once jokingly called him Rambo because of the way he could move through the bush, set traps, and survive off the land with almost nothing. That nickname wasn't just a joke. It was a glimpse into the man's capabilities. Every tree, every creek, every hidden ledge in that wilderness has been studied by Freeman for years. He knows how to read the wind, the tracks, the patterns of animals, and the way the sun moves across the mountains. He can survive on water collected from dew or food foraged from the bush. And yet, he is never seen, never caught, never leaving anything behind that would give him away. Imagine being in the shoes of the search teams. Hundreds of trained personnel, hours of planning, helicopters overhead, and still he slips past them like a shadow. Could it be that Freeman has been anticipating this manhunt for months or even years? Maybe he already had supply caches hidden. Maybe he has routes memorized that allow him to watch the searchers without ever being seen. And perhaps, most unnervingly, he is observing them right now, learning from every move, adapting every step, predicting their next strategy. This isn't a simple chase through the bush. This is a game of strategy, patience, and survival. A man who has trained his entire life to survive off-grid, against a force that, despite its numbers and resources, is operating blind in a terrain he knows intimately. Every day that passes adds pressure on Victoria Police. Each failed lead, each empty search, intensifies frustration and doubt among the teams. Meanwhile, Freeman's reputation continues to grow, not just online or among locals, but in the minds of everyone involved in the hunt. He's no longer just a man on the run. He's become a symbol of cunning, skill, and elusiveness. The question remains, how do you track someone who may be anywhere? A man his own son once jokingly called Rambo. He could be hiding in the bush, or he could have vanished into a town, a remote house, or somewhere completely unexpected. Every hour that passes increases the uncertainty. Every failed attempt highlights the challenge of catching someone who seems to anticipate every move. No one really knows where he is. The bush may be a hiding place or just a distraction while he moves unseen elsewhere. So now we must ask ourselves, is it even possible for the authorities to locate him before this case turns into a legend no one can touch? Thanks for watching and taking the time to look deeper into this case. If this video opened your eyes to the way this manhunt is being handled, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Share this with anyone who needs to see the story behind the headlines. And most importantly, keep asking the real questions, the ones authorities don't want answered. Until next time.